This 4 weeks will be on ending a habit, any habit that you happen to want to change. And I'll give you some examples as we go along. But we'll start this class like we do every class, by grounding and going within, kind of finding our energy. So sit back and enjoy yourself. And just take a couple of deep breaths and turn your attention away from the world and inward towards yourself. And as you do that, look down at the very base of your spine. You can put a little red X there. And then look all the way down to the very center of the earth. That's a long way down. You can put a little red X there. And you're going to join these 2 points by an energy connection. It can be a tree trunk, waterfall, a beam of light. Energy isn't fussy. Anything that feels safe to you, that helps anchor you. And then you're going to expand it till it's as big around as your hips. And when you ground, it brings you as a spirit more into the body. So it really helps on letting you bring your information to whatever the body's working on. The body's kind of set at rote. It just goes along with the same pattern. You as a spirit bring all the information to the body. So grounding, and then just take a minute to let go of anything that's been worrying you or bothering you. Just let it flow down that grounding cord. Might be a new concept to some people, and some people have been doing it for years. The more you do it, the stronger it is, and the more you can actually feel it. So it's kind of a practice. And then you can just kind of imagine the energy around your body, arms length out all the way around, front to back, top to bottom. Your aura. And you can visualize it at a favorite color, something that helps you relax and feel safe, and get curious. Because we're going on a little hunt today. This will be fun. So from that space, we're going to look at a habit that you have that you might want to change. And some from other classes have been, one woman had a fear of being ill. Another one was she wanted to end a habit of eating junk food, sugar, talking to an old boyfriend, childhood trauma. Sure, there's a million of them you can think of, but just pick one. What the heck? And I'm part scientist and part spiritual awareness. So I like to kind of figure things out. I find that fun. So kind of you can write it down, or you can just do it in your mind, whatever it is you want to work on. And then push it outside yourself, out into your aura. So you can take a look at it. And if you want, take your hand and feel that area where you put that habit. Just feel the energy of it. Just getting curious. Does it feel heavy, funny, sad, angry? Just get curious. Little science for you. Just notice what you notice. And now we're going to kind of put our detective hats on and just kind of ask yourself, when did this habit begin? You can look back through your life. And what was going on around you? Might have been in your family. And you're just getting curious. It's like looking back at an old movie. And as you look at it, you can have this conversation with yourself. What part of you maybe felt invalidated by that situation and might have used this habit as a way of coping? Because that's kind of typical. And then noticing what judgments did you make about yourself in relationship to this because of that situation? What did you conclude? Some people felt deprived of things. Some people felt out of control. Some people had childhood trauma come up. Other people felt unlovable. Just get curious. There's no right or wrong. And is that still a truth that you hold for yourself? If you had that same situation happen, would you come to the same conclusion? Because sometimes our smaller self or younger self doesn't always have the wisdom we have right now. So just check in. And can you say hello to that part of you that maybe was in pain or felt invalidated or whatever was going on that habit kind of eased or helped you cope with? Say hello to that part of you and send it a little compassion. Maybe it was a tough year for your family that year. Maybe somebody moved away or got divorced or lots of things happen in life. So show a little compassion for that part of you. And when you do that, you automatically start to give yourself a healing. So you saying hello to it helps you start to release some of the old energy that might be stuck there. So take a deep breath and just let that younger part of yourself know that it was okay. It helped you get from point A to point B. Whether you decide to keep this habit or whether you play with it in these next 4 weeks, you might decide you want to change it. Totally up to you. I have no expectations. We're just playing with energy. And just giving yourself permission to love just what is. Loving yourself right where you are. And this is another good one. Notice what triggers it in present time. What keeps that habit alive? And is it when you feel strong? Is it when you feel vulnerable? Is it when you feel alone? Just notice. You're just getting curious. There's no judgment here. We're just being aware. And say hello to that part of yourself where you get triggered in present time. I'll give you one of mine. When we were little, I was 3, there were 5 of us. Our mom was killed in a car accident. And so our grandparents, and you can imagine 5 kids under 6 crying for their mother. I'm sure we drove them crazy. They didn't know what to do with us emotionally to support us. So they took us to Dairy Queen for little 5-cent cones. And so I find every time in my life when I'm up against something strong, I want ice cream. And it took me the longest time to find that pattern. I'm like, oh, of course. And hey, do I still eat ice cream? Yeah. But it isn't a bad thing. It's just like, oh, that was a coping mechanism. It was actually the adults coping with the kids at that point, but it became a coping mechanism for a couple of us as kids. So can you still have ice cream? Yeah. But I've lots of times find I don't need it. I have a choice and I like having the choice. Sometimes it's just pure pleasure and I love every bite of it. Other times it could be a stress factor. And noticing the difference is kind of fun. So giving yourself permission to look and see, what is it for you? And can you be a tiny bit amused that this is the particular habit that got you through something? Because if you can own something, then you can change it. If you resist it or you push it away and it's hard for you to own it, it's really hard to make a choice and change it. And again, changing it doesn't mean you have to do without it. So just playing with it, having a little bit of fun. And then sit back and with your eyes closed, kind of inward. Again, you can look at it as like seeing a little movie playing out in front of you. Look and see if anyone else around you has that same habit. Who else does the same thing that you know? Or something similar? Because lots of times we call this a matching picture. It's like it's so much easier to see in someone else or to give them permission to say, oh, they do blah, blah, blah. So we can see it easier in someone else than sometimes we can in ourselves. And just notice if you know them well, what keeps it going in them? You're just getting curious. Then take a deep breath. And find any matches, any similarity between you and that person. And then if there's any other people, maybe your family or someone else around you, if there's any people where this situation got triggered, can you find a little compassion for them? Maybe they were stuck too. Again, we're just looking and getting curious, not judging. and look at any current message or feelings it produces in you when you have this habit. How do you feel about yourself? What is that great voice in your head telling you? And is that really how you feel about yourself? What voice would you like to hear? How can you be a cheerleader for this body? And again, it isn't something you have to change. It's something you're becoming aware of. So saying hello to that habit. And noticing how you feel about it in the moment. And just changing maybe your perception or your awareness around it. If you're really digging, you can ask yourself, hey, what's the payoff? Doing this helps me do what? Maybe it's getting through tension. All of us have places we're really strong in life, and all of us have places we're vulnerable. And just see which place you're in when you're playing with this habit. And take a deep breath. And then create out in front of you a big soap bubble about the size of a soccer ball. And just put any feelings into that bubble, because we're just working with energy. You can put a little magnet in that bubble and let it pull that energy out of your body. Anything that's not comfortable, and just pop it. And you can do that 2 or 3 times. It's just a great way of letting go of energy that no longer serves you. And then I always like to kind of invite that kind of energy to sit beside me. It's like, okay, what am I learning from you? Why did I pick this particular habit? And in my case, it was because I lost my mom. I was devastated. And ice cream, I think, raises your endorphins. At least it did for me. But find that bottom line for you. What part of you are you saving or protecting by having that little habit? And take a deep breath. And then again, with your eyes closed, pick a favorite color. And surround that part inside yourself, whether it's in your heart, your tummy area, your throat, whatever it is. Bring that comfort to your body. So you're just giving your body a new energy. And it's helping it with this habit. It's just being there for it. So whatever that color is for you, whatever feels soothing and comfortable, you can put it inside your whole bubble. You can put it all the way through the body. But just give that body a little comfort and support. And then again, we're just going to be little scientists here. I want you to ask yourself, what is your story? What scared you in life? Or what was it, being the effect of the environment around you? What triggered this particular habit? I know you grew up, you're safe. Everybody made it through, alive and well and kicking. And so that adult part of you can kind of reach back and heal a younger part of you. And another question you can just get curious about and ask yourself is, what do you get to avoid by having this habit? What does it protect you from? And this is mostly in our minds. It's kind of interesting to find it. And it's like, wow, puzzle piece. What can you give to yourself that would help you cope? And take a deep breath. And notice if you've ever shared this with a friend or someone around you. Again, what feels safe to you? When we find that place of fear or avoidance in us, we can bring our own level of comfort to it, and it ceases to be as strong as it was. And over time, it kind of melts away. So bringing that level of validation and comfort to your body. And maybe just think of 3 people you could tell your story to. And maybe you're not going to say it out loud. Maybe you're going to say it telepathically. You have a lot of choices. Maybe you're going to write it down and burn it. Who knows? But if you could tell 3 people maybe what happened to you and how you've tried to help yourself cope, that's huge. Again, whether you say it out loud or not. And then another thing that can be interesting, we talked about what triggers it in present time. How can you discharge that feeling? So if you look at that trigger, whatever triggers you, maybe you could ground it and just imagine draining the energy out. So it might not trigger you as much or as hard. So maybe put a gauge by that trigger and see how much energy does it take to trigger you. And just put a grounding cord on that gauge and drain some of that energy out. You might decide you're going to love yourself when that happens, whether you have that same habit or not, whether it continues. You're going to find that compassion and that love for yourself. And now we're going to just do a little clean out, because to me, it's always the energy behind something that makes it harder for us. And when we can drain that out, it's much easier to cope and deal with it. So taking a deep breath, say hello to that grounding cord. It tethers you to earth and it keeps the body safe. And it allows energy to be drained out and released that no longer serves you. So we're going to start with the first chakra right at the base of the spine. And it deals with survival, how to take care of the body and the food the body needs and the sleep and all that kind of stuff, survival information. And I want you to just allow your body to ground out anything that this habit triggers in you, any survival energy. And just give yourself permission to let it go down that grounding cord. You don't even have to know what it is. Take a deep breath. And if you let that old energy go, what would you like to fill it in with? What color or vibration would make you feel better, calmer, love yourself more? You just pick a color or vibration, put it in that first chakra. We're just being scientists, we're checking it out. You might feel better in 10 minutes. And breathe. And then let's go to the second chakra. It's about 2 fingers below your navel. This is your emotional center. All the different feelings. And just check in. Are there any emotions that you'd like to release with this habit? Could be fear, could be anger, PTSD. Could be a lot of things. And just giving your body permission to let go of anything, any emotion that doesn't serve you. And just let it drain all the way down that grounding cord. Just going to go down to the center of the earth. It's kind of like holding a brick up. It can't stay in midair. It falls down. So energy is great. It just gets released. You don't even have to know what it is. So breathe. Release any feelings that don't serve you, you don't want. And then think of what color, what energy or emotion would feel better to you. Just imagine filling that second chakra in with that vibration. Nice deep breath. And then we're going to climb up the ladder to our solar plexus, kind of above the navel, mid tummy. And the third chakra is your energy source. And sometimes when we feel out of control in that third chakra, then we have to let go again. So if we feel out of control, it's like this is the place that's going to get triggered. And so say hello to that. If you feel that kind of where the body clenches, its stomach. Say hello to that part. And just let that calmness come into the body. How would you like the body to feel? So if the body feels vulnerable, it's like give it some strength, give it some courage, give it some love, and put that color in there. And breathe. Now we're going to travel up to the fourth chakra, your heart area. Love for yourself and others. And just focus on you. You've got your whole life to give to others. How about you? What would you like to give yourself? And you might start by giving yourself permission to have that habit. Making friends with it. It's okay. And just finding acceptance for yourself. Just say, yep, I got this habit. Here it is. It's gotten me through a lot. And that's where I am with it at this moment. We'll do lots of stuff with it this next couple of weeks. But for tonight, maybe just own it. Just find compassion for yourself and love and enjoy it. You can say, damn, I picked a good one. All right. And find that color, that vibration. And you can put that in your heart chakra. And we'll come all the way up the ladder to the fifth chakra, right in the cleft of the throat. Your voice, your communication, your expression of creativity. And just see, what would you like to say to that habit? Maybe tonight, just saying hello. Letting it be okay. Releasing any judgment, any guilt. Just letting it go. See if you can find some neutrality. You probably had it for a while, so what the heck? And breathe. And again, find a color that would help you express your truth to yourself, to someone else. Put that color in that chakra. And breathe. And then the sixth chakra is in the brow area. This is your spirit connection. It's like, out of all the habits on planet Earth, I picked this one. So the spirit part of me is eternal. And this is the habit it helped me pick to cope with whatever life threw me. And just validate and thank yourself for picking something that you can handle. Bringing your soul awareness. And again, instead of judging, just hold that awareness. Hopefully in neutral. Take a deep breath. And what color would you like to have here? Fill it in. And then we're going to go right to the very top, the crown chakra, top of your head. This is your truth, your information. You've had lifetimes worth of information that you've accrued. And so bringing your awareness to this habit, and again, just saying hello. And we're going to be looking at lots of different choices we have in the next couple of weeks. So let yourself know you're going to give yourself permission to play with and see this habit from different angles. It's not good or bad, right or wrong. There's a level of learning here. Find a color for that chakra. And then last but not least, we're going to create a huge gold sun, twice as big as your body. This is going to just replenish your energy from anything we took out tonight, you let go of. And fill it with liquid gold or a favorite color. Pop it. Let it flow in and fill you from head to toe. Just with love for yourself. Once you fill that physical body, then you can fill that aura all the way around you. Find a little color of self-love, way to give to yourself. And see this habit as an adventure. We're going to find out lots of things about it. And just take a deep breath. You can kind of stretch, let yourself come out of that trance.